and continuing with the cacao, and really witnessing and seeing how the cacao positively affects people's lives and what that opens up for people, and also taking my coaching business to the next level as well. So taking these interviews and interviewing people like you and other individuals in the health industry that are passionate about supporting other people living a healthy life, and how that information can get to the people that actually need it. So instead of someone maybe having that gecko, allowing them to think, oh, that's not for me. I can't live a healthy life, or I can't live that, like, that's not for me, or I may be too poor, or I may, just the excuses that the gecko can
Or worse, tomorrow. We'll do what Asa says tomorrow. Nope.
Yeah.
No. That's the gecko. Because tomorrow never comes in gecko land.
Yeah.
So, if Asa gives a checklist, give small.
Right.
3s. Rule of 3 for the gecko. They can't count past 3. So, you give your little list, and 2 of the things will be familiar. One of the things, that's the one. Here's our fight. We're going to fight past one thing today, guys. One thing. Just one little, and make it little.
Yeah.
And then they'll get that feeling, and they'll recognize, oh, I feel like I'm going to die. Asa was right. GrannyDeepSea was right. There's a thing happening. I can beat that. This checkbox is small enough for me to say, wait, I can do this one little thing. Chink. You do it, and then you just beat your gecko now. Now, you put your own gecko in check, mate. And I'm telling you, once you've done it, now you have a tool. You get to tell him, no, remember yesterday? Remember that thing I did? I checked that box, that new box? We're going to be checking new boxes, and I don't want to hear anything from you, or whatever it is. Geckos love their thing. So, I'll never eat another cookie as long as I live. See what I mean? You like cookies, dude? You like those cookies? Then you better shut up. And you tell your gecko, go back to sleep. Sweetie, I don't know what happened that made you think this was a problem that you needed to get involved in. Get yourself back to sleep right now, or you'll never see another cookie. And at least he'll just lay down and close his eyes and pretend to be asleep, which is what you really need him to do, is just shut up. So let me tell you, your gecko don't go to sleep yet. It's going to be a long time before me or anyone else escapes their geckos. What you got to do is live with your gecko, make friends with your gecko, and do your things that you're going to do. Your gecko is going to have the shotgun, chink, 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 always ready. He's always ready. The more things you do, now he's reaching for the flamethrower. Because you're trying to get bold, now he's got his flamethrower. Don't listen to him. Listen to the higher part. Ask the real question. Does that make sense? Do I need a flamethrower right now? No. Gecko, go back to sleep. And once we get that evened out, you'll be able to do the hard check boxes, the ones where everybody has to get up and get on a plane and actually walk over and pick up a baby. There'll be babies picked up that have been chained to a bed. That's the hard one. Buying the cacao so that you feel better tomorrow. You're going to feel better tomorrow. I promise you that. So you're stopping yourself from doing something that's going to have a positive effect on your life. That's the first checkbox. Let's just get you doing positive things.
Yeah.
Then in the end, when the big one comes, we're going to actually make a huge positive change as the immune system for this planet. We're going to work together, and we're going to do ka-chink, this huge thing.
Yeah.
We'll be ready for that because we've already done the little checkbox.
That's awesome. That reminds me of something that I've learned in my recent years, which is in this book it says, pray without ceasing. Basically, pray without stopping. So if you're constantly in that praying mode and like really connecting with God and like, what should I be doing right now? Like, this seems good, but this other thing may seem that it's actually better for me. So what is it that I need to do? And so then that's when you're actually getting that divine opportunity to really do the right thing for yourself and for other people, instead of just going with that instant feeling.
That's it.
So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. And thank you for reminding, pray without ceasing. That is a whole lifestyle. Just remember, you're always on film. That's the audience up there. They're filming. It's all on tape. They can refer you back to it after you die and say, no, look, or actually on a nightly basis. That they're not here to judge the way people think judgment. They're so afraid of God's judgment. Let's think something through. Let's just put it this way. We're God's doctors is what we are. So, at what point do you say, no, I don't want that doctor? That doctor would have to be pretty bad. Now, let's put it this way. You have your sweet baby on the table, or somebody that you love is on that table, and they're going to die if that guy over there doesn't come over and help him. He's the only one who knows how to do this specific thing. And what would he have to be so that you would not allow him to help your child? The judgment level goes way down. God is not trying to judge your worst things. He's trying to judge what's good in you and make that elevate. He knows this is a place where we're all going to get messed up by a virus. He knows what's the virus and what's the gecko. What he needs is that humanity, that heart, that special thing that you bring to this amazing puzzle for you to wake up and realize that. And then he's willing to say, oh, anything you might have done as a gecko is so forgiven. What is forgiveness? Forgiven. It means that's given. When he sent you down here, he knew before, forgiven. He knew before he sent you the virus was here. He knew you were going to do this, that, and the other. He knew that you would feel guilty because people have written a book that said, you need to feel guilty. Really? That's not what he wants you to feel. And just so everyone knows, what's this he business? There used to be 3 determiners, not gender. This is a gender situation? No. This is masculine, feminine, neutral. This is not male, female. So when I say he, S is the curvy female determiner. It used to be T, the, was the male determiner. He is like an unborn child. You're not sure what it is, it's a he. And God is a he. There's no gender determiner. It's not there. It's just a blank space. So he, I'm not saying God is anything more than an individual that I am referring to. So, there's masculine and feminine qualities within the divine being, and you can separate them all day long and try and make judgments on them, but I don't think that's what you're supposed to be doing. What you're supposed to be doing is ignoring them. You don't go up to God and say, what's underneath? You don't do it, right? You just don't. You
have
don't.
like a reverence. There's like a reverence.
That's
You're
all I'm saying.
like,
Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
God.
Well, we're not here to talk about that today. That's something that's, it's cool. Okay, another nice way of putting it. The queen bee is not concerned with what you do in the meadow as long as you're not hurting any of the other bees and you bring back the honey at the end of the night. You do your job, you're allowed to have fun. God has given us an amazing wonderland to have fun in as long as we do our jobs. So, I look forward to cleaning the mess, curing the virus. With God's help, He helps each and every one as you open up that part of your mind and say, do I have a reason to be? Yes, of course you do. Do you love me? Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that movie, it's a horrible movie that had to be made. And it's called The Shack. And you'll recognize this King Assad's eyes in Jesus in the movie. Don't want to ruin the movie. Very difficult to watch, but I had to watch it all the way through, and it stuck with me. And my son actually said, you need to watch that. When my daughter or my son tell me I need to watch things, I usually try and do that because I feel that connection with them, and then they know me, and they try and make sure I see what I need to see. That one was huge. And it's going to put you in some very strange places to watch that movie if you do. But it also opens you up to different facets of God, and it certainly, in my opinion, shows how much God is right there with you at all times. He doesn't leave. Things get bad, he's not gone. And he's always right there to talk to, and he never neglects to answer back. He never answers back with the negativity that we're afraid of. He will always say, I love you. He might not like the things you do, and if you're doing things that you think he doesn't like, that's going to be the gecko and the virus, and you can ask for help. We're going to get help for all of this.
Yeah, that brings something up for me. Like I know for me, when I was growing up, you know, I battled through pornography, and
Very gecko
and-
style activity.
and
Don't you worry.
yeah, and so I went through this time of period of like really praying and like I need help because like I don't think this is good for me that I'm doing this. And I think it probably took like a certain amount of years where like I felt like I was like really free from that. But if I wasn't like getting on my knees or like really like asking for help to God, I feel like I don't know if I could have really done that by myself.
I agree. These are activities your gecko will take over pieces of your life, requiring you to do things that are not healthy. Then requiring you to do them on a daily basis because you lived through it yesterday. And these things that you have a feeling, that you would make an excuse for, that you don't want other people to know, that you are afraid of. These are gecko activities. God will definitely recognize those as gecko activities, not judge you and say, "Oh my gosh, you're unlovable." Oh, no. Absolutely not. You got infected and you got stressed out beyond all belief, and the keys to your body got handed to the stupidest part of your brain. And there's people that want you that way and set up the entire planet so that you don't even have an out. There's no way to go. There's no escape. And pretty soon you're paying rent. The moment you're paying rent, it's all over. Because then you got to go to work.
Yeah.
And once you're in that rut, it's all over. And so the whole idea of, wait, how come there isn't a place for every single person to go? As a traveler, you should be able to drive up, park, have a nice shower. That we can make things that way. They don't do it on purpose. They don't have a kitchen everywhere so that everyone gets to eat on purpose, because all you need is a safe place to sleep, some food, and a way to get clean. And then you can move on with your life. They don't want that. They need you paying rent. They need you going to work. They need you consuming the next thing that they put on a commercial. And does that thing make you happy? No. It makes your gecko shut up. That's all. Oh, we need that. Oh, okay, let's get it. Oh, okay, now he shuts up. Boom, now you're a hoarder. You know what I mean? So it's like, forgive yourselves. Forgive each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was my gecko. Lead with that, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like that's what what has been really important for me is like knowing or like witnessing Jesus or Yahshua or Yeshua.
Name's
like,
not important.
like seeing him and like witnessing him and experiencing him. I feel like that has positively impacted my life to who I am today and not who I was 10 years ago. Because I feel now that knowing Jesus and knowing what he's done and knowing who he is, like there's hope. And I know this man named John Maxwell says when there's hope for the future, there's power in the present.
It's a fuel. It's an absolute fuel. And the fear that Jesus might not be happy with you, that fear keeps people away from going towards him. Anger at God. People are afraid of their anger towards God. God understands that whose fault ultimately is this entire thing? God. That's why he sent Jesus. He knew it was his fault, and he's not the blame. It's part of this. The way things are set up. Again, in my opinion, the way things are set up right now, it's to give everyone the possibility of a happy ending, even those little pieces of virus that have to be reestablished inside the internal part of our planet, go back to sleep, start to learn again through dreaming, through, interestingly enough, the animal kingdom. And that's where the dreams come. And then you evolve up through this wonderful ladder of the animals, and now you're a human. You've earned this body for your spirit to work through. You've reached the top of the immune chain, and now you're ready to work for God. And it's there's a system. The Knock Knock by GrannyDeepSea, that story, that kind of tells you how it's actually, when an asteroid hits a fertile planet, it loses its physical body. It just got burned up. In that crash, there's actual amino acids created in the crash. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein and the building blocks of life on a planet. So when an asteroid hits a fertile planet, not only does the action create the little teeny guys that begin the chain up to a physical, but you've lost your heavenly body. The Quran, I believe, is what says the spirit comes into existence with the body, but goes on after the body ceases to exist. I don't think that's just these. I think where that actually originates from is what physical body did you have in heaven? Because we all start as something out there. Well, when an asteroid hits and it loses its physical body, the spirit still gets to fly around, and it's that spirit that enables us to grow through the animal kingdom up to human immune cell, where we love our planet, know our planet, and have that feeling of wanting to make sure our planet is healthy as well. Does that make sense? So if that's how we evolve into us, but then when there's a bad problem, the stars can come down and help. Normally they'd come down and help and they get to leave, but not when the virus is awake. And that's why they got trapped here. And that's why we want to remember that there's different kinds of religions. Some of them say, you're going to burn in hell if you don't do the right thing. And I think those are theirs. That if they don't do the right thing, there's this thing called the eternal sphincter of pain that they have to go through to get back to heaven.